Phoenix, number 14, Kevin Windham, goes for 2 in a row. Mike LaRocco finished second last week in Anaheim. He'd like to be on top of the podium tonight. Number 22, the defending champion, Chad Reed, needs to forget about Anaheim 1 and move on. And the all-time winningest AMA rider, Ricky Carmichael, looks to make Phoenix his own. Showtime, Jeremy McGrath is in the building. But the man many have come to see may not suit up for the main. Stay with us, Supercross is next. Last week, amid a torrential Southern California rain, KTM mounted Nathan Ramsey captured an opening round victory in the 125 West Supercross. Others were not as fortunate. Defending champion Ivan Tedesco and 2004 East runner-up Broc Hepler struggled in the tough conditions. Can Ramsey put an early stranglehold on the title chase today in Phoenix? A win in the 250 class for Kevin Windham would be his second in a row, second straight in Phoenix, and would shake things up in the 250 class. At the Anaheim opener, Mother Nature evened the playing field. Windham in his number 14 Honda took care of the rest. Behind him, the talented trio of number 4 Suzuki's Ricky Carmichael, 259 Kawasaki's James Stewart Jr., and the 22 Yamaha of Chad Reed struggled to keep up. These riders have something to prove. Supercross moves to the Valley of the Sun. Who will have what it takes when the gate falls? Stay tuned. Supercross is next. Welcome to Phoenix, Arizona, the Valley of the Sun, for the 2005 THQ AMA Supercross Series. And hello once again, everyone. I'm Todd Harris. We've got 2 full hours of Supercross racing for you today, so sit back and enjoy the best in the business right here at Bank One Ballpark. In the 125 West class, it's Nathan Ramsey and Ivan Tedesco. Last week in the rain, it was Ramsey who knocked off the defending champ, Ivan Tedesco, but Tedesco says he'll have something for Ramsey tonight. In the 250 class, the talent is full, but the breaking news out of the Kawasaki pit is number 259, James Stewart Jr., suffered this crash in the last practice of the day. And for more on his availability, let's check in with Kawasaki's Bruce Sternstrom.
Well, he won't be riding tonight. It's unfortunate, but he fractured a bone in his left forearm, so he's going to be out for a few weeks. But I think everything's going to be okay. He showed, I think, today that he's got the speed to be here, and I think that, it's just an unfortunate thing.
So it appears the 259 of James Bubba Stewart will not be racing tonight in Phoenix. We'll continue to follow this story as developments occur. But Ricky Carmichael is on the track, and he had the fastest practice time today, so keep your eye on number 4. Also, Jeremy McGrath is here. Travis Pastrana and the defending champ in number 22, Chad Reed, on board the Yamaha. But right now, let's check in with Cameron Steele, who's standing by with the man who won last week in Anaheim, Kevin Windham.
Well, the victors from last weekend, Kevin Windham and his entire team, everybody here under the Honda Semi, very happy. And Kevin, a lot of hype coming into the first race. A lot of names mentioned: Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart, Chad Reed, Kevin Windham. You come out on top, that's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah, it definitely was a great way to start the season. Puts us miles ahead of where we were last year with our 9th coming out of Anaheim. And it was a tough race. It was tough for my team and, all the guys at Amsoil, Chaparral, Honda, Factory Connection, Napster. They really pulled through, and it takes a good group of guys behind you to get you up in a winning situation in a mud race. And we're happy to have one under our belt already.
You've never won a championship. You've never led the points before. Never won the opening round. You did all that last week. This has got to put you in good momentum, good spirits going into the entire season.
Sure. I mean, it's a long season. It's going to be tough, and still 15 races to go. And, of course, some of the guys, Chad certainly has a bigger hole to fill than what he was expecting, but with the amount of races we have, it's still anyone's game, and he's got to be consistent. Try to keep it close to the box and or on the box, and just ride within your limits and keep going.
Well, they're going to try to get Kevin Windham. The whole team's going to try to get him on top of the box. Right now, let's check in with Jamie Little.
Well, Cameron, I think it's safe to say that Ricky Carmichael gained a few more fans after his heroic performance in the mud last weekend. Now he joins us. And Ricky, after seeing what you went through, lifting your bike up and going down again, how long did it take for your body to recover?
I didn't think I felt right till like Wednesday, I think. Man, that was tough. I had muscles I never knew I had, and you know, I was just trying to stretch and try to get right. It was brutal.
Now, looking ahead to tonight, you've been on the track with all the other boys. In your opinion, what's going to happen tonight?
It's going to be good racing, you know. We're all really close, us three, myself, Reed, and Stewart. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the challenge. Like I said, we're really close on laps, so we'll see what happens. I want to do my best, and I want to get a win for Suzuki.
All right, well, you can see Ricky Carmichael do battle with all the other boys on a dry track later in the show. But first, let's check in with Todd Harris.
Thank you, Jamie. In the Yamaha pit, the phrase is no panic. They're not worried. Their man is the 2004 defending champion, so they've got that on their side. Plus, Chad Reed is one of the most patient and smoothest riders out there. He knows it'll be a mountain to climb, but all he has to do is chip away at the lead.
It's a long season, and you know, sustaining a 16-race season is really tough. And you know, I learned that over the last couple of years. And you know, I feel like you know, I'm 5 points better than I could be. So you know, I feel like you know, 5's better than none. And you know, Ricky in 2002 came back from 0 points. So you know, there's no reason why any of us can't do that. And I'm just looking forward to a long season. Just you know, putting races together and trying to chip away.
Don't go away. When we return, 125 heat racing. Can Nathan Ramsey take another step closer to his second 125 Supercross Championship? Or will Ivan Tedesco point his way to the winner's circle? We are back in Phoenix, Arizona for the THQ AMA Supercross Series. Bank One Ballpark, the site. Cameron, right now, let's take us through the track here in Phoenix.
And now it's time for the MX versus ATV Unleashed track map. This first corner is flat and it will be tricky. Right into the whoops, they'll be able to skim them pretty easy. A right turn, you got to step up and over to get to the whoops. That will be a little bit interesting. Jump farther through a left turn and then 65 feet over the triple. Rup, big fun there. You can double, maybe triple if you want to. A few 125s doing that. A little bit of a rhythm section, and this is not an elevated corner, but this is where James Stewart crashed. There are some options in here. Watch out. There will be different lines being used. A setup jump for the triple, and then a left-hand turn, double, triple if you want to, and single into the corner, and then off the finish line jump, and that is your MX versus ATV Unleashed track map. And here are your track backs. 6,500 cubic yards dirt, 60% clay. It is looking good out there. A little bit loose on top. 2,069 feet long, and that is your MX versus ATV Unleashed track facts.
All right, thank you very much. Well done, Cameron Steele, as we get set for 125 heat number 1, 20 riders, 1st through 9 to the main, 10 through 20 to the LCQ, as we take a look at the Thor starting grid. And there you saw the format on how you make it into the main event. Well, two names that jump out at you right there, Josh Woods and Broc Hepler. One of them did quite well last week, and Broc Hepler is a guy, Cameron, we thought would do much better than he did. But let's first of all talk about Josh Woods.
Josh Woods, you know, he comes in second place last main event, but he was 12th fastest in practice. That is going to be a problem. He wants to qualify right away, but he's going to have to find some speed on the track if he's getting back on the podium.
The 125 West Main, the heat number 1 is off and running.
And it looks
Look
like
at that.
Unbelievable.
To the front of the
shot.
pack as they go through that whoop section, Cameron, it's amazing how compressed they're staying.
They are, and they're staying tight, except for the man out front, Billy Laninovich, back from the knee injuries of last year, and he won his day qualifier today. Billy is fired up.
Billy Laninovich, number 132, leads them in out of Lake Elsinore, California, the Honda CRF 250R Amstel Chaparral Honda. Behind him, though, it is 111. We've talked about him in the past. That's Jay Marmont out of Murrieta, California, one of the guys that did some mud riding last week prior to Anaheim.
And Marmont is a multiple-time Supercross champion from Australia, riding full-time in the United States. He got a big welcome in the mud last week, and he finished 21st place.
So the green flag is out, and it is Billy Laninovich, number 132, that will lead them in this, the 125 heat number 1. Remember, 1 through 9 go to the main event. Everyone else gets their last chance in the LCQ.
And the whoops, you can see him skimming there. They're quite easy. This section's a little bit more technical, where they come over that section and have to get into the whoops.
As we take a look at the start one more time, big moment for Billy.
Well, Billy got into a braking bump there, threw the back tire over, going into that section. That's over where James Stewart ended up getting hurt, so Billy getting a little bit of a nose wheelie going on there.
Billy Laninovich out of Lake Elsinore, California on the Honda CRF 250R Amstel Chaparral Honda. But we've got a great race for second here. Number 111 is Jay Marmont, and number 31 coming into view is Danny L. Smith out of Middleton, Idaho on the Yamaha YZ250F Boost Mobile Yamaha Troy Ride.
And Danny finished in 7th place last week, not where he wanted to be. He wants to get on the podium right away. He is one of the fastest riders in the 125 class.
Look at that.
Right there. Marmont coming inside on him. Danny playing it smooth. He's not going to get in there and really tussle with him. Danny's not a rider that's really known to get in and bang with guys, but he's not afraid to get inside if he has to.
So this is the battle for second place in 125, heat number 1. Number 111 going through your picture right there is Jay Marmont. Behind him is Danny Smith. They are running second and third respectively. The man out in front is Billy Laninovich. He picked up the whole shot here in 125, heat number 1. So will Danny Smith put the move on the KTM rider, or will Billy Laninovich stand in front? More 125, heat number 1 when we return to Phoenix. Welcome back to Bank One Ballpark, Phoenix, Arizona for the THQ AMA Supercross Series. This is 125, heat number 1. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele and Jamie Little reporting from the field as you see Billy Laninovich, your leader. But this is the battle for second place, Cameron. And while we're commercial, number 31, Danny L. Smith, put the pass on number 111, Jay Marmont.
And Danny's looking great right now. Watch his lines. He's nailing all the transitions. He's on all the landings and takeoff and racing the corner. And check this out. We got a race on our hands. 65. Sipes coming in. Is he going to... Oh, dives inside Marmont. They're keeping it clean, though, Todd.
That is Ryan Sipes out of Vine Grove, Kentucky on the Suzuki RM Z250 Hahn Motorsports WBR and Yoshimura sponsored ride. And it's an unfortunate situation for Jay Marmont out of Murrieta, California, Cameron, because he was sitting in second. Now he's dropped back to fourth. But we remind you, 1 through 9 will go to the main as you are watching the 125 heat number 1. There's Danny Smith going through. Then Sipes, then Marmont, and we've got another rider coming into view right behind Jay Marmont.
And you saw right there the green bike you're talking about, 44, is Paul Carpenter, and last week he did not make the main in the mud, and he is from upstate New York. Everybody's like, he's a mudder, he's ready to go, he's a threat, and then he doesn't make the main. That was a big disappointment for him. He looked fired up at track walk today.
Also, Broc Hepler, a man we talked about at the start of the show, currently sitting in 7th place. As Jay Marmont of the KTM goes through, there is Ryan Sipes, number 65. But Paul Carpenter, Cameron, you hit it dead on. The folks at Kawasaki looking for big things out of here. But right now, maybe the biggest revelation is Billy Laninovich out in front in this battle for second. As we look at Danny Smith, and look at that, oh, a slight bobble by Sipes.
That's going to be a tricky corner all night, both in the start and when they're racing through there, because there is no berm. It's very flat, and the dirt on top is just a little bit crumbly there. And you saw Danny Smith get a little bit of a better run in the whoops there than Sipes. Danny has been looking good in the whoops, but let's watch the corner speed. It looks like Sipes might be racing into those corners a little bit harder than Danny, but again, everybody's qualifying in the top 9.
1 through 9 as we take a look at the checkered flag coming out. Billy Laninovich really walking away with this one, Cameron, never in threat, got the whole shot and ran out in front. And I think this is exactly what the folks at Lake Elsinore, the Honda CRF, the Amstel Chaparral Honda people were looking for out of Billy Laninovich. He picks up the win in 125, heat number 1.
And you're looking at Richie Owens here on the number 75 bike. He'll be coming around. Hepler is going to make it in as well, so he will transfer to the main event.
As we take a look at our official results from 125, heat number 1, it looks like this. It's Billy Laninovich getting the win, followed by Danny Smith, Ryan Sipes, Jay Marmont, and Paul Carpenter rounding out the top 5. Then it's Hepler, Morris, Abrigo, Owens getting the final transfer position to the main. 125, heat number 2, Thor's starting grid looks like this. And Cameron, this one is loaded. You've got Ramsey and Tedesco in there, factoring Brett Metcalf, Johnny Marley, Steve Mertens, and Turbo Reef. And the list goes on and on, but all eyes will obviously be on Ramsey and Tedesco to see what they can do. But also Steve Lamson and Andrew Short. How fast was he in practice today?
Fastest rider in practice, you're looking at Ivan Tedesco, who was the 3rd fastest, but he needs to get a win. He was a little frustrated last week, did not like the finish. He came in with the 8th place, actually DNF, but he's a lap ahead of a lot of other riders, and the gate is down.
125, heat number 2, we've got riders fully overshooting it. Unbelievable the speed they were carrying into there, but it's the Kawasaki out in front of Ivan Tedesco.
And you saw the decision Ivan made was to jump into that whoop section. There's two different ways to do it. You can jump over that camelback section and land down the back and get a run into the whoops, or you can actually jump on into them, which is what Ivan did. Sometimes it's hard to keep your momentum when you do that. We talked about that start straight, that start area, that corner. It is going to be one of the toughest places on the track tonight.
So Tedesco's your leader. Then number 25, Nathan Ramsey on board the KTM, and Steve Mertens currently sitting in third as they come through and take the green flag. So we are off and running. 125, heat number 2. You're looking at Nathan Ramsey. Remember, we are only going 6 laps, and 1 through 9 will go to the main event. So Ramsey does not get the whole shot. That goes to Ivan Tedesco. Psychologically, does he just sit back and watch Ivan Tedesco's line, or does he try to make the pass on it?
Well, for Ivan, if he lets Ivan win, which he would never do, I mean, Nathan Ramsey is an animal. He's going for it at 30 years of age. He is one of the true pros out there, I mean, in knowledge. He works it in so many different ways. I watch him ride his practice, and he watched all the other 125 practices, and then the 250 practice. He's really watching what's going on. I don't think he's going to let him win, but if Ivan can win it, it will give Ivan a little bit of psychological help.
It would be interesting to see if Nathan Ramsey just sits back for maybe a lap or two and then makes his move on the final lap to get the position on the starting gate. But Nathan Ramsey, your winner last week in Anaheim, California, number 25 right there on board the KTM, currently sitting in second behind the defending 125 West champion in Ivan Tedesco. And you talked about it, Cameron. He's 30 years old. He's a dad. He's married. He is a consummate professional, Nathan Ramsey is. Right now, he's got his hands full with that man. Ivan Tedesco, number 1, on board the Kawasaki.
Yeah, the whole Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki team Ivan's riding for, they are really dialed in, looking really good. The bikes are so sweet. I was talking to Mitch Payton, who runs the Pro Circuit Camp, and he's like, man, these bikes are good this year. He's really excited.
Yeah, and if Mitch Payton says the bike's good, you definitely take it at his word.
And both of these guys have been winners at this event. Ivan Tedesco winning last year, and Nate Ramsey winning here in '99 when he won the West Coast Championship.
The battle is on. Will it be Tedesco or Ramsey? Stick around. 125 Heat 2 continues after this. We are back to Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix, Arizona, the THQ AMA Supercross Series. Your leader right now in 125 heat number 2 is that man on board the Kawasaki, the defending 125 West champion, Ivan Tedesco. Out of Murrieta, California, he's riding the Kawasaki KX 250F, sponsored by Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki and Motocross R. That man, Nathan Ramsey, number 25, finished first last week, currently sits in second, and number 120 is Steve Mertens. But remember, Andrew Short had the fastest practice time right now, Cameron. He is moving up.
Big props to Steve Mertens, who's been a guy that has been up and down in his career, Supercross. He had some injuries over the last couple years, but he's always been one of the fastest guys on the track, and he's proven it right now. And doing battle with a guy that we know is fast, as we said, the fastest rider in practice, and Andrew Short just so frustrated. I asked him earlier, oh, look at this, going to the inside. Will he take the line?
Wow.
Yes. See him sweep the wheel, and Mertens actually has to turn the wheel a little bit to keep it together, but Mertens knows he's coming and keeps it upright. And frankly, I'm a little bit surprised that Mertens left it so open.
Well, he's still in a transfer position. Cameron, you said it earlier. He played it smart. He's going to transfer, live to fight another day. But Andrew Short, number 51, makes a great pass out of Murrieta, California on the Honda CRF 250R American Honda Motorsport sponsored ride. Here's a guy who made a switch to different teams this year. Cameron, is paying off in spades for him.
He says he loves his team. Let's take a look at this pass. Look at Mertens. He goes up. He tries to dive in the inside a bit, but he still leaves the door pretty open. He could have shaved that closer to the top block when he started turning left and maybe not left that door open for Andrew Short.
Number 120, Steve Mertens, who was in third place on the opening lap. He has slid back to fourth right now. The man in front of him just made the pass is Andrew Short, number 51, and he is currently running in third. Out in front of Ivan Tedesco with Nathan Ramsey running in second place. 221 is Tiger Lacey and Tim Wygant right behind him. Now, Cameron, this is where it gets interesting with the white flag out. These guys are battling for position of choice on the final gate.
Well, you're right. They want to get the best possible pick on the gate, so they want to get to the front of the pack. Where you finish matters on how you pick for the gate. Mertens has his mirror full of riders right now. How was that move?
Oh, look at this. Tiger Lacey diving underneath.
Wygant got the move in that last section, and then Tiger Lacey comes up underneath. And Tiger's a guy who busted out all his teeth not too long ago, and he wants to prove something right now.
Tiger Lacey, number 221, had his issues last year. Looks like he is recovered healthy and riding quite well. Remember, we're taking the top 9 to the main event. Everyone else will have to go through an LCQ, a last chance qualifier, and you don't want to do that. But it is that man, number 1, Ivan Tedesco, winning 125, heat number 2 for Nathan Ramsey. Well, We talked about the start of the race, Cameron. He got an eyeful of Tedesco's line, and he was unable to close in on him.
And Johnny Marley coming up fast, too, right now behind Weigand. Johnny Marley is really a great Supercross rider. He has a lot of technique that works good for him. He needs a better start.
So 125, heat number 2 shakes down like this. It's Tedesco, Ramsey, Short, Tommy Hahn, Steve Mertz, Tiger Lacey, Tim Weigand, Johnny Marley, and Sean Collier, top 9. Moving on to the main event. Hey, if you're jonesing for some great Supercross action on ESPN2, well, it shakes down like this. Our next show, January 23rd, 2005, 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time from Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Should be great. But we still got a lot of great racing action here from Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix, Arizona. The 125 main event, post-race interviews from Phoenix, Arizona. And in our second hour, we have got 250 racing, the qualifying, and Jeremy McGrath profile, and of course, the big show, the 250 main event. Right now, let's send it down to the track for Jamie Little's Honda Pit Report.
Well, Todd, everyone knows this is a very young sport. The average age is about 24 to 25 years old. But Mike LaRocco is breaking that rule at 33 years old. He continues to get atop the podium. Last weekend was his career 78th podium.
It's nice to get a podium, I think, at this point in my career, you know, in any circumstance. But, you know, that was a mud race. And, you know, I know that being dry this weekend, it's a different story, you know. And you know, for me, it's more like a goal to see if I can step it up, you know. And if I make the podium is obviously my goal. But I know that with what's coming, I got a lot of work to do. And I just kind of want to see where I'm at and then, you know, go from there.
Mike LaRocco just keeps on going. Viva LaRocco. As we take a look at the 125 LCQ results, it's Chris Gosselaar, Jesse Casillas, Turbo Reeve, and Benjamin Cozy all moving on to the main event. Well, a lot of sports will give you access to the athletes, whether it's on the outside of the velvet rope or walking by the locker rooms. But here at Supercross, it's fan-friendly. And we bring you up close and personal in Suzuki's All Access. The skies are sunny in Phoenix, and the stars are out. Whether it's sunglasses or souvenirs, you can find just about anything you want here in the concourse and outside in the pit area at Bank One Ballpark. Try out the new video game, find out about the best bikes, or just show off your strength. When we come back, much more, including the 125 main event after this. Welcome back to Bank One Ballpark, THQ AMA Supercross Series from Phoenix, Arizona. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele and Jamie Little on a beautiful night here in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, the sport keeps growing and the fans keep showing. Tonight's attendance, nearly 50,000 fans have turned out to watch the best in the business, and we appreciate their support and watching some great racing action. As we take a look at our Suzuki starting grid for the 125 main event, Cameron, Ivan Tedesco, Billy Laninovich, Nathan Ramsey, Danny Smith, Andrew, they all look fast.
So quick, and there's going to be some banging going on. The whole shot's so important. Remember, that first corner is slippery.
Cameron's keys, what are they, and how do you win this event?
Well, first you got to get a great start. The one thing you got to look at is the start. You got to be smart. That corner is flat. It is dangerous. It's going to be hard. Once you get into it, you got to be strong and go. Consistency throughout. There's not a lot of different lines, but the lines you hit, you got to go for it. That is one of the biggest keys here tonight.
All right, we are set to go. It's the 125 main event on the 125 West Circuit. We've got 22 riders. They will be going 15 laps, and we will be giving you the Tissot running order as the 30-second board is about to disappear, and we are set to go racing, Cameron. Doesn't get much better than this. Who do you like? Let's hear your pick.
Well, I'm going with Ivan Tedesco right now. Fastest heat of the night when he won. I think he's got the moves tonight.
To the front of the pack, it's a pair of Suzuki's jumping out with Nathan Ramsey on the inside.
And it looks like Ryan Sipes with the hole shot. Broc Hepler just inside of him, and Broc going for the move there.
Broc Hepler, number 60 on the outside. Ryan Sipes also joining him. Nathan Ramsey mired back in 5th place as they come flying through, and Ivan Tedesco is currently running in 9th place. So the defending 125 champ has his work cut out for him. But let's give it up for Broc Hepler.
Definitely, and you know, we're gonna see if Ivan's really got the skills, because Broc Hepler was the second fastest rider in practice behind Andrew Short. He was runner-up on last year's East Coast 125 Supercross Series, so no stranger to the podium and no stranger to being fast for sure.
Number 60, Broc Hepler from Kittanning, Pennsylvania on the Suzuki RMZ 250 on the American Suzuki Motor Corp ride, and look at him go. Here's a kid, Cameron, who came in Anaheim last week, the only one that was looking forward to the mud. Did not have the performance he wanted, but you get him here in Phoenix on a dry track, and he shows his stuff here in the 125 main.
It's crazy. He was really looking forward to the mud, and he's like, let it rain. I don't care. I'm okay with the rain. And then it really bit him. It's just really kind of a funny turn of events. Not funny for him, but I mean a strange turn of events coming through 18th. And right now, he's pulling out a little bit of a lead. Sipes is falling back, and that's good news for Broc Hepler. Not only to the guys that he sees as his main competitors, they're back a ways, but he's making a gap.
We are going 15 laps here in the 125 main event. There's the man who won last week in Nathan Ramsey, the race in Anaheim in the mud. And look at this pass. 51 coming into view, and that's Andrew Short. Short, a slight bobble right there, but Cameron, he was fully committed. He was totally committed from the triple. He went to the inside, moved over to the left, and he was siding that inside line. He was going to go for it. He started to slide underneath. He didn't want to contact with Nate Ramsey, so he had to bring the bike around, lost some traction, and unfortunately gives up a little bit of space, but he's got to make quick work of Ramsey if he can get by. And look at Ramsey just way out into those whoops. Hard to keep your momentum, and look, momentum paying for Andrew Short. He drives up on the right up near the inside of him. Meanwhile, your leader is Broc Hepler out in front, and here it comes to the inside. Can't get it done. So Nathan Ramsey, this is the battle for fourth place, and look at Short. He is all over the place. Number 51, Andrew Short, who Cameron pointed out, had the fastest practice times here in Phoenix, and right now Nathan Ramsey is saying, whoa, bring back the mud. Well, the thing is, too, it's giving the 87 bike of Turbo Reef, who's just ahead of him, a little bit of breathing room. These two guys fighting it out is going to give a little bit of space. It makes it hard for them to move forward when they're battling with each other. Nathan Ramsey with a slight gap now over Andrew Short, but here comes Short once again. Look at his exit speeds on the corners. He is able to fly through there. Here's Nathan Ramsey through the whoop. Short unable to close the gap on him as we continue to watch this, the battle for fourth place in the 125 main event. There's number 87, Turbo Reef, just ahead of him, and now Nathan Ramsey starting to pull up on Reef. I would look for an aggressive, not dirty, but an aggressive. Right. Get in there and get past right away is what Nate's got to be thinking. And use Turbo Reef as a buffer for the hard-charging Andrew Short. Meanwhile, the problem they've really got is Broc Hepler is out in front leading this race. And he's nearly a full straightaway ahead, a whole section, and he is. Sipes getting into a corner now. It looks like Broc Hepler could have a runaway on his hands in 15 laps here if he keeps stretching it out the way he is. 6 seconds is the differential between Broc Hepler, your leader, and the second place of Sipes. Then it becomes Turbo Reef and Nathan Ramsey. Ramsey takes an inside line on Turbo Reef. Then Andrew Short, and we slide back. And Ivan Tedesco has now worked his way up to 6th place, the 125 West defending champion. And Ivan's a guy with some good experience and not afraid to get up underneath the pass. And this is bad news for Andrew Short. He doesn't want to have to dice with Ivan Tedesco. He wants to get up and get by. And look at that. Ramsey finally getting up underneath of Turbo Reef, but will he be able to make it stick? Here you see the sign. Broc Hepler up to 7-second lead, and Nate Ramsey unable to make that pass stick, Cameron. He'll try it one more time, but again, here comes Short. Here comes Tedesco, and Cameron, maybe all this battling pays off the best for Ivan Tedesco as we take a look at Sipes going through. They are 3 wide as they battle through. Sipes goes through, but the battle is right behind him. Look at that. Look at this. 3 wide. Andrew Short getting by Ramsey. And Tedesco sweeps to the outside. Nathan Ramsey. He loses 2 positions. Cameron, look at Tedesco. 2 for 1. And that's what I'm talking about. Make quick work of him. Ivan Tedesco processes what's happening on the track. In a split second, he makes his move. He gets by both riders. Unbelievable turn of events as Ivan Tedesco, who was as far back as 9th, has now moved his way up to 3rd place. So Tedesco bouncing all the way to the front. And I think Short and Ramsey were thinking, where did he come from? And Nathan Ramsey slides all the way back. And you saw Ramsey not able to stick a pass on Reef. I'm expecting Ivan Tedesco, you see him looking to the inside there. He loses some traction. What he's doing is he's trying to get up to the inside on Turbo Reef, where he's going to be able to pay it off in one of the upcoming corners. So watch him for that. Andrew Short pulls back up on Tedesco there as well. So a quick recap, it is Broc Hepler in 1st place, then Sipes, then Reef, then Ivan Tedesco, who sits in 4th place right now. And you can see Reef dropping a little bit into the whoops, the back wheel falling down just a bit, losing momentum. Watch Tedesco rhythming through there, and he's going to make the pass. Tedesco makes the pass and makes it clean. Now he goes to work on Sipes.
That is what we're talking about. When you're on the Supercross track, we talked about this track being a little bit one line. Tedesco making the moves on these guys, making it count when he comes in. He doesn't almost make the pass, he sticks the pass.
Well, Tedesco, we pointed out, got a terrible start, but worked his way through the pack, and he is making it work right now. He's in a podium position, but it's not good enough. Your top three, Hepler, Sipes, and Tedesco. Can Ivan Tedesco reel in the Wonder Kid, Broc Hepler, and pick up a victory? Stick around and find out.
Welcome back to Bank One Ballpark. We are in the middle of the 125 main event. We wanted to take a moment to remind you we have the Tsunami Relief Fund beginning this Thursday. Log on to supercross.cc.com and you can take home your favorite rider's autographed jersey. It's a great fun, and we highly suggest you guys check it out.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Broc Hepler continues to lead here in 125 West main event. He got a great start and has been checking out, but look at this. Ivan Tedesco is moving up. He's like a cobra ready to pounce on his next victim.
Let's talk about lap times. Tedesco turning faster lap times than he did in the practices when it was fully grooved and he was by himself. He is down under the 53 mark.
This is the battle for second place. Sipes right in front of him. Ivan Tedesco on the Kawasaki #1 bike. Here it is again. Here's his section, Cameron. He has the line. He has the position.
Jumps right into those whoops and carries momentum. A lot of people you see jumping into those whoops aren't able to carry the momentum, and Tedesco just hammers it.
So Tedesco sits in second. He's got a big gap to Broc Hepler, maybe over 100 yards. But it all started, Cameron, on a great start, and it wasn't a great start by Ivan Tedesco. Let's see who won. The Butterfinger Crisp hole shot, and you got to keep your eye on the 60 bike, the Suzuki of Broc Hepler.
Broc Hepler definitely had a great start, a good jump, but it was Ryan Sipes who got the hole shot. Watch him cross the line, getting a good drive on the inside. Ryan Sipes taking home the Butterfinger Crisp hole shot award.
You tried one of those Butterfinger Crisp?
Awesome, yes.
Outstanding. Broc Hepler, your leader here in the 125 main event. And Cameron, I never thought this was possible, but Ivan Tedesco's now getting a look at him, but he's going the opposite way. So Tedesco looks down the straightaway. It's about 100 yards, and Tedesco's going to have to go to work. He's going to have to start shaving some more seconds off his lap time because Broc Hepler is not riding like a young man. He is riding like a full-blown rock star. Well, they have just over 5 laps remaining. Is that enough time for Tedesco? Remember, Tedesco wasn't as fast as Hepler in practice, but now Tedesco has been turning the fastest laps of this main event. And the lead is almost up to 10 seconds as Andrew Short makes a nice pass on Sipes. And Nathan Ramsey's trying to get in there. So Ramsey right now, last week was on the top of the podium. Right now he's in a position not even to be on the podium in the top 3. And you know, when it plays out in the points, they need Ramsey to fall back. Tedesco had a decent finish, but this guy, Andrew Short, had a horrible finish. Broc Hepler had a horrible finish. They need these points on Ramsey. I have a feeling the 125 West is going to go down to the final weekend, and then the 125 East-West Dave Coombs Memorial Shootout. And look at that pass as Nathan Ramsey. Oh, Ramsey! The goal and gets off. Nathan Ramsey catches the back end. He's okay, but his KTM just goes skyward. Not sure what happened there. It looked like he just got more traction than he thought he was going to get. Just get squirrely after getting by Sipes. And that four-stroke does not want to kick over. And they say, you know, your mind tells you to give it a little bit of gas, and the mechanics tell you no gas, no fuel at all. And Nate having a hard time and going backwards fast. Makes the pass right there, Cameron. He just, you know what? So the tough blocks. Yeah, his line looked like it just carried him outside, maybe the momentum from the corner, and he rode the tough blocks. We saw Ricky Carmichael do that in Canada and pull it off. And Nate Ramsey this is horrible news for Nate Ramsey. Oh, man. This is so frustrating. He's got to watch Ivan Tedesco go by. He just got lapped. You know, that's the problem, I guess, with the downfall against the four-strokes, Cameron. They run hot. And trying to get it to restart, it's sometimes a tricky proposition. If we look at Broc Hepler going through, Hepler has rode a masterful race. He did not get the Butterfinger Crisp pole shot, but he has made it work the rest of the way as we are on lap 13, scheduled for 15 here at Bank One Ballpark. And this kid is a youngster.
And we may have cornered him, you know, all the media with the rain and everything, saying, hey, you know, what's going on? But he spoke more about winning and doing well in the race and feeling comfortable than I've heard him say, you know, basically the whole time he's been pro, which hasn't been very long. But this week, he was kind of quiet again. I asked him about, hey, what happened last week? He just kind of smiled at me. He's like, oh, well, you know.
Wise beyond his years when it comes to dealing with the media. He knew last week in the mud he got a little bit snake bit, but this week he is making up for it and then some. His lead continues to grow. Your leaders, Broc Hepler, as you look at the 125 West defending champion, and Ivan Tedesco, #1 on board the Kawasaki, trying to close the gap. And Cameron, he's turning some fast lap times. The problem is you cannot give Broc Hepler a 10-second lead and expect to reel him in 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, last lap, he was faster than Tedesco. That lap they just finished right there, he was also faster than Tedesco, so he is pulling on Ivan.
Jamie, what do you got?
Guys, Andrew Short went down in the whoops. As you can see, kind of disappeared. He's running 13th right now. But good news for Nathan Ramsey. He finally got his bike started. He's back out on the track, but a bad night for both riders.
Bad turn of events for Ramsey and Short. Meanwhile, Ivan Tedesco salvaging his night. Remember, back in Anaheim, he was the one that had the problem, but not tonight. He is looking fast. And Cameron, you got to think what the night would have been had Ivan Tedesco not started out in 9th place coming through the first turn.
For sure, and Ivan actually not finishing the main event last week. His bike, he stalled it. There was so much mud packed into his shifting lever that he couldn't get it into neutral.
Great battle for 5th as we are on the final lap. The white flag is out at the 125 main event as they continue to battle. You are looking at number 31. That's Danielle Smith, that we saw have a great heat race. And he's doing battle right now with the 60 bike. No, excuse me, the 60 bike.
66 bike. That's Tommy Hahn, the newcomer to the pro ranks. And he's just a good kid. I've been talking to him quite a bit. A great performance last week, just missing the podium. And right now, he's definitely dicing it out.
Well, a series of left-hand turns for Broc Hepler as we watch this battle go around. Danny Smith trying to make the move, gets to the inside line, but it's Broc Hepler.
Oh, look at that! Tommy Hahn, he pulls up.
But your winner in the 125 main event, Broc Hepler, picking up the victory for Suzuki. As we go back to this one, Cameron, this is the battle for 5th place. Huge gap before Ivan Tedesco finally comes through. And what's going on here?
Well, it looked like Tommy wanted to take that line back, and he just basically jumped underneath and looked up at Danny Smith. And Danny Smith has been around for a while. He's quiet and very respectful. The kid showing him, hey, I'm here.
So Tommy Hahn slides behind Danielle Smith as we break away to give you a shot of your winner, number 60, Broc Hepler, on board the Suzuki, picking up a huge victory. And right now, let's check in with Jamie Little.
Well, guys, Lee McCollum is the mechanic for Broc Hepler. He knows how to win. He used to work with Travis Pastrana. Congratulations, your guys' first win together.
Yeah, it was a special event, you know, especially after last week with all the trouble in the mud and stuff. So tonight, you know, everybody was saying, oh, this will be the start to the series, and even though we're down on points, but it sure feels good to come out of a win, especially with Broc, his first win, so it's really special.
Certainly, it's a team effort, guys, to take home a win in a Supercross event.
Wow, for Team Suzuki, what could be a great night. You gotta respect what this kid came out and did, Cameron. He didn't get the whole shot. He rode composed. He rode his race. Ivan Tedesco did everything he could, coming from 9th place all the way up to 2nd place. For Nathan Ramsey, it was a bad night. He had his problems, and Andrew Short, the fastest guy in practice, Cameron, he had his problems as well.
Well, he's riding in the shadow last year of James Stewart, who's now in the 250 class. And Broc played it cool all year last year, and he's played it cool this year. And he's just happy to be at the races when you talk to him. He's not arrogant, not egotistical, just a really nice kid.
One of the nicest kids you'll ever meet from Kittanning, Pennsylvania. Your winner in the 125 main event, Broc Hepler. A great performance by him. Congratulations to him and Team Suzuki. Well, we're going to step aside, but when we come back, we will talk to our winner, Broc Hepler, and the rest of the players in an exciting 125 main event. Stick around and find out how Broc Hepler did it when we return to Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome back to Bank One Ballpark, Phoenix, Arizona, the THQ AMA Supercross Series. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele and Jamie Little as we take a look at our official results from the 125 main event brought to you by Honda. It's Broc Hepler, Ivan Tedesco, Ryan Sipes, a great run for Turbo Reef and Danny Smith. And Ryan Sipes, Cameron, comes out of nowhere. You heard everyone talking about who is this kid, and he's on the podium.
Well, it's a testament to what the 125 class is. It's a place for people to learn and grow. That's why they split it in the East and the West, so you don't have to do a full series. Young guys coming up, taking a shot at guys like Nathan Ramsey who are experienced, and he gets up on the podium, an unbelievable finish. But again, that's what the 125 class is all about, growing the talent of the future.
125 West action. This is only stop number 2 on the 125 circuit. We're going to go back to Anaheim 2 more times, and some great stops in San Diego and, of course, San Francisco as well. So a lot of great 125 West riding still to come. For more on our third-place finisher, let's send it down to Jamie Little.
Very surprising, you guys. Ryan Sipes, a new face, a new name to Supercross. It's his first year. Last week it was 6th. This week you get up on the podium. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I never really, I knew I could do it, but I didn't expect it this soon. So I just got me a good hole shot and just rode smart. So.
Tell us about yourself. Where do you come from, and how are you so good at Supercross all of a sudden?
From Vine Grove, Kentucky. Not many Supercross tracks back there, but I've been out here for a month and been riding out here with my team, and just been doing a lot of practice. David Bailey is our coach. He's been helping us out a lot, and he's just kind of made me into a Supercross rider, so it's good. I want to thank him a lot.
How's this whole experience? Is it a little overwhelming for you?
Yeah, it's just awesome. Like, I was nervous before my heat, and came out here, and as soon as I seen all these people, this is what I've always wanted to do. And all these people really like loosened me up, and got third in my heat too. So it's awesome. I love this.
Great job tonight, Ryan Sipes, taking home your Butterfinger Crisp Hole Shot Award for $1,000. Welcome to Supercross, Ryan.
And our congratulations to Ryan Sipes out of Vine Grove, Kentucky on the Suzuki RM Z250. Nice job by him. Cameron, what do you think the chances are we're going to see Ryan Sipes on another podium on the 125 West?
Well, I love the way he rode. It was basically fearless, attacking all the time. I mean, downsiding everything smoothly, and his corner speed was quite good.
No question about that. Ryan Sipes, definitely a force to be reckoned with. We'll keep an eye on him when we go to Anaheim next week. It's now time for the Nissan Turning Point, and in this race, the 125, there were many, but we start off first with the man who took home the top prize in Broc Hepler.
Well, a good show, like we said, from Sipes, but once Broc Hepler on the number 60 got by, it was lights out, 99. Bye-bye, Broc. Congratulations on your first win.
Not such good news for Nathan Ramsey.
And the series turning point, Nate Ramsey getting loose, yard sale. The good news, he's okay. Bad news, points are in serious trouble.
All right, let's send it back down to the podium where Jamie Little is standing by.
Some hard riding tonight by the champion running the number 1 plate. Ivan Tedesco started 9th place. Tell us about your run all the way up here to 2nd.
Man, I got a terrible start, and not like I wanted, but I made some quick passes, kind of some sketchy moves the first lap, and got myself in position to kind of get in there and slowly pick guys off, but it wasn't quick enough to get, Broc had a pretty big lead by, the second, third lap, and just did what I could, but I couldn't do it tonight.
Now, Ivan, a lot of the guys you're out there racing with, you're familiar with. This kid, Ryan Sipes, comes out of nowhere. What'd you think when you saw him?
Yeah, actually, I came up on him. I didn't even know who it was, and I read his chest protector, and it said Sipes. And, he was riding really good. It took me a little while to get around him, and then, but Broc, he rode a good race tonight, and I'd like to congratulate him, and I'm ready for next weekend.
Now, tell me about this. Riding around the track, I'm watching you. You got a little Bubba flair in you this year all of a sudden. Tell us about your riding style. Is it from training with Bubba?
Yeah, I think so. We rode together a lot at the Cali track this year, and, I just watched him every day and tried to pick as much things off him I could, and, it seems to be working. I'm feeling good this year. I just, I need to get a start, and my start's usually pretty good, but in that main, I don't know what happened, so.
Yeah, feeling good as opposed to last year when you dominated. It's good to see you back on the podium.
All right, thanks. I'd like to thank everybody for, getting me here, Pro Circuit, Monster, Scott Goggles, my wife, she takes care of me, and, everybody, my family, so thanks a lot.
Ivan Tedesco, the newlywed, finds himself back on the podium.
Okay. Mark your calendars and make your plans to be in Las Vegas the first weekend in May for the 125 East-West Shootout. It all culminates in the City of Lights. The Dave Coombs Senior Memorial should be a great array of talent. As we take a look at the point standings, it's Tedesco and Ryan Sipes out in front, then Tommy Hahn, Danny Smith, and Broc Hepler. Let's check in one more time with Jamie Little.
Well, last year, a lot of people said that if James Bubba Stewart wasn't in the class, this man would have taken home the #1 in Supercross and Motocross. Broc, last week you struggled. This week you came out of nowhere.
Yeah, you know, I got everything right this weekend, and my Makita Suzuki was working great, and it's glad to be back on top and where I should be finishing.
So your bike's glad? Are you glad to be back on top?
Oh, yeah, I'm glad of what I did, but, you know, I'm glad I put my team back on top.
Broc, I know you've done this your entire life. This is your first Supercross win. What are you thinking and feeling right now?
You know, I don't think it's actually hit me. You know, I think tonight I'll be more excited than now. You know, I'm just happy I was able to pull off the win.
And I know your mom and dad come to every single race. Where do you think they are? What do you think they're doing right now?
I don't know. I actually think they got in one of the press boxes, but they're probably trying to run down here now.
So what are you going to do tomorrow? Are you going to be a changed man or what?
Well, I'll just take tomorrow off like I usually do and get back into my schedule, because even though I won tonight, we're still after a championship.
He's a great kid. Broc Hepler, remember that name.
And our congratulations to Broc Hepler and the Makita Suzuki team on a great win, Cameron. Fantastic job all the way around. Also, we want to remind you about the tsunami relief effort. You can go to supercross.cc.com. The auction opens up on Thursday, and it's open for 10 days. A lot of great stuff there for a worthy cause. Cameron, your final thoughts on Broc Hepler's big night?
Well, after being the bridesmaid quite a few times, the East Coast Supercross, the outdoor 125s, numerous races, comes out on top. Broc Hepler, hero status. I got to ask, will this maybe give him that momentum to keep winning? Ivan Tedesco hopes not.
We'll find out next week in Anaheim, California. On behalf of Jamie Little and Cameron Steele, I'm Todd Harris saying good night from Phoenix. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.